officially 5 days away from leaving here in Canada, where I've been living and training most of the summer, to Nepal, to Everest Base Camp. 80 miles, trekking through the Himalayas, and I'm super stoked. But I'm gonna take you through a training day today, and we're gonna get into some details, the nitty gritty of what it takes to do a trek like this and what I've been doing to prepare. We're currently in Waterton National Park in southern Alberta, and we're about to do a little hike, run, cold plunge action here. It's pretty chilly this morning, to be honest. It's like maybe 50 degrees, 40 something, and it's just raining. So we'll see if we get rained on, but I'm stoked. Let's get it. My name is bradyoakfitness. I'm a men's physique athlete, a coach, a mentor, a business owner, and my life motto is be uncommon. Welcome to my new series, From Stage to Summit, as I not only try to maintain top bodybuilding shape, but also dive into a hybrid style of training that is going to transform my body into a mountain athlete that I need to be in order to trek for 2 weeks through the Himalayas to the base camp of Mount Everest. How we doing? View's getting pretty good. We're getting up higher. This hike isn't super long, but it is very steep. Throughout this whole training block, the goal has really been to put myself in situations that are gonna be harder than what we'll experience on the trek. Do something harder, then you can do something easier, especially at high elevations, hopefully. And we've made it to the top. Here we go. Beautiful morning, nice and chilly.
The straight uphill part really doesn't give you a break.
This is supportive wife. This is official trekking partner, father-in-law, Jeff.
He's the true Canadian mountain man. I'm the Texas-born, Nebraska, corn-fed boy from the flats.
Oh dear. Hello.
So, to give a little bit more insight on what I'm going to talk a little bit more about in this video, the reason I'm running now, one of my biggest weaknesses when it comes to just, you know, the idea of big mountain treks, heading up to Everest Base Camp, it's a couple of things. Number one is going to be the elevation. So I'm going to talk a lot about that later in this video. But another thing is just my body. I think it's just part of being a bodybuilder, being a little heavier. I'm about 200 pounds. That weight carries over a lot to my joint. So my knees, it's not terrible, but my knees are definitely a weakness of mine. So I really like doing that hike because it's really steep on the way down, which means it's a lot on my knees. And then if I hop straight into a run after that, I just double the practice on just my knees, being able to handle a little bit more and more and more. Again, if I can do things that are harder right now than I'll experience on the trek, then I'll be able to handle the trek better. I really like this because I get a run on a little bit more tired, fatigued legs and knees. And that's how we get better. All right, 2 mile run complete, but it's not finished yet. We gotta do one more thing that's gonna give us a little bit of an edge when we're up there at 18,000 feet in elevation amongst the tallest mountains in the world. You know what we gotta do next? We gotta get cold. This is freaking cold, by the way, just so we're clear. It officially gets below freezing here at night, and it's cold.
Hurry up and put it on me because I'm not staying in line. I'll get in the back of your bigger. Then go.
All right, hold on.
Go, go, go. Oh my God.
Yes, let's go. We're roughly a minute in right now. I'm gonna go for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is my sweet spot. Maddie's out. She did pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Usually she lasts like 4 seconds. But there is a reason to this, and I'm gonna explain. We do this because cold water is extremely beneficial in getting you acclimatized to cold. We're gonna be experiencing a lot of cold. I'm from Arizona, guys. I don't experience a lot of cold. So I needed to do something that was gonna get me adapted to cold weather really well. And something that cold water does is it helps you recover from the cold really well. So not only if it does get really cold up there, which it could, weather can be very unpredictable on Everest, but we'll be able to adapt well and recover well and all that good stuff. So I do have a hunch as well, because they're saying saunas help with elevation acclimatization, because it builds the capillaries up and helps oxygen move more efficiently through your body. I have a hunch that cold water exposure might do the same. That could be bro science, don't take my word on it, but it's definitely not going to do the opposite. So that's what we do this for. And we're definitely over another minute. It's definitely been at least 2 minutes. We got a special surprise. Maddie's so cold that she wanted an iced pumpkin spice chai. And I got a warm one because I'm not crazy. All right, you guys, so we're gonna dive into exactly what I have been doing in order to train and prepare my body for this. Now, if you're new here, I'm traditionally a bodybuilder. In fact, not even like 4 or 5 months ago, I was competing at the national level in men's physique, and I'd been giving bodybuilding everything for the last 3 to 5 years of my life. So although I enjoy hiking and I enjoy the outdoors, I haven't actually been training like a mountain athlete until a lot more recently. And so I'm gonna piece together what I've been doing in order to prepare for this. Whether you're someone who's brand new, doing a big mountain trek, or doing Everest Base Camp yourself, I'm gonna be able to help you dial in for that. If you wanna know how I ended up doing, make sure to watch the next video, because the next video is going to be my entire trek video. You can see if all this training and preparation for it worked. But something that I thought was really funny is I was actually speaking with someone who has done this trek before, and she said there's one type of person that really struggles with this type of thing, and it's the type of people that look like you. And she pointed right at me, and I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, the bodybuilders, the muscular guys, they're the ones that are puking on the side of the trail. And I laughed, but it's true, guys. If you carry a lot more muscle mass, or you're just plain out of shape, it's gonna be really hard for you to do something like this, because Everest Base Camp is the highest base camp in the entire world. You have half the oxygen up there as you do at sea level. And so if you are really muscular, you know, muscle is more metabolically expensive. It requires more nutrients, more oxygen, things like that. So you require more of what you have less of in that situation. If you're out of shape and your cardiovascular health is not good, well, then that's gonna be a big struggle too. So here's just everything that I've done, and I really see it as like 3 main categories, right? So you have like your endurance, your cardiovascular endurance, but then you also have like kind of number 2, I would say, like being able to handle day after day after day, long hikes, treks, walking, stuff like that, because that takes a toll on your body, your joints, your muscles. Can you recover quickly, and are you tough enough to get to the top, basically? And then third and lastly, which is probably the most important thing here, is elevation, and being able to acclimatize quickly and effectively and perform well at high elevations. And so let's just straight up dive into everything that I've done. So first of all, I train really hard in the gym. I train 5 to 6 days a week in the gym, primarily like a bodybuilder. And although that style of training, high intensity training and focusing on building muscle and hypertrophy, might not directly correlate into success on the mountain, what it does do is it actually is, in a sense, going to increase my VO2 max and just my overall muscular endurance. Because at the end of the day, it is almost like HIIT training in a sense. You're going very, very hard for a set, and then you pause for 1-2 minutes, and then you do it again. Doing that routinely, you know, will increase your heart health and increase your VO2 max, which we'll get there in a second, but that does carry over well into, you know, performing better at higher elevations and acclimatizing to higher elevations better. I also adapted trail running, long distance running, and I even competed in my first ultra marathon of 50K, so about 30 miles. You don't have to necessarily do that, but that's something that I did as well. And then I hiked a lot, which makes sense, right? Specificity in all things. If you want to get good at hiking, hike a lot. Let's backtrack to those 3 things first. So cardiovascular health, one thing that you can do is run, do cardio, guys. If you're doing no cardio and then you plan on doing, you know, I don't even know, average of 6 hours of cardio a day for an 11-day trek, you're gonna struggle. So start doing cardio. For me, I started my weekly running mileage at about 5 miles a week, and I got as high as about 30 miles per week. And that actually translates well into the second category, which was just kind of like your body's toughness and just like durability. Again, I used trail running specifically and hiking in order to build that up, because you know, it is tough. It is tough on your joints, like I said, your muscles. It's tough to do that day after day after day. So I wanted to replicate that and actually level it up. My mindset here is, if I'm training harder in training than I will experience on the mountain, then I will perform better on the mountain. So I figured if I can run trails and run mountains and hike big, tall mountains with big elevation gains, then I'm definitely going to be able to trek and go slower. You know what I mean? Now, obviously not everyone has access to mountains. So what you can do is just do the Stairmaster. It's the next best thing. If you don't have trails to run on, just run on the street. It's still gonna help your durability, especially your ankles and your knees. It's gonna make you stronger so you can handle the rougher terrains on the big mountain. And then that goes to number 3, which is truthfully the hardest and most important part, which is elevation. How have I trained to prepare myself for high elevations? Now, again, unless you're actually living in a place where there's super high mountains, maybe like Colorado or something, this is very, very hard to replicate, and you pretty much can't do it. And so we have to find other ways in order to give our bodies the best chance to naturally acclimatize. Now, like I mentioned, for me, that meant going on longer runs. I see a correlation there where if my cardiovascular endurance is in tip-top shape, my body is going to be more efficient with the oxygen that it does have, and that will carry over into me being able to survive and breathe when there is less oxygen in the air. Number two, what I mentioned a little bit earlier as well, is your VO2 max. You know, how hard you can go in a cardiovascular bout of exercise. And so for me, yes, you know, bodybuilding isn't probably like the best way to do that, but I am a bodybuilder, so I did use that in order to, you know, boost my VO2 max, but also, again, running, increasing the intensity of those runs. Sometimes I run a little bit faster than other times. That's going to increase my VO2 max. And the biggest one is honestly like the incline, the hiking. Again, you can use Stairmaster, but going on those big inclines, that will boost your heart rate quite a lot. And that is going to, in a long term, increase your VO2 max. Other than that, really the only things that you can do that might help, again, I mentioned cold plunging. That might be bro science, don't know, but there might be something there. And then sauna as well might help as well. But at the end of the day, all we can do is just train as hard as possible, make sure we're as healthy and as fit as possible, so that when we're thrown on the mountain, we can naturally acclimatize. And you won't know until you're there really whether or not you acclimatize well. Obviously, there's things you can do while you're there, like making sure you're hydrated, drinking plenty of water, sleeping a lot, consuming enough calories, going slow, things like that are gonna help you while you're there. But this is about preparing as much as possible before you even get there. Okay, you guys, that's everything that I've done. I've been training for this now for about 4 or 5 months, and I have ramped up my training quite a bit, like I mentioned, running ultras, you know, hiking a bunch, just really diving into this world, and I absolutely love it. So I can't wait, but make sure to check out the trek, guys. Next video is gonna be it, my 11-day journey through the Himalayas, 80 miles round trip to the highest base camp in the entire world. Base camp at Mount Everest. Let's do this, guys. Be calm. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.